Welcome everyone to the American's Voice. Happy Sunday to you. October 25th, 2020. We are 9 days out from the election and excited that we're moving forward, about to once again vote in the right candidate. So many things going on in the world today, and we have an opportunity once again to make our voice known and represent. Welcome everyone. I'm Yanni, your stellar captain, your starting pitcher, the beginning of the week, and we're ready to get in the crux once again. And I'm in the batting position, ready to knock it out the park for every single one of you guys in the United States of America, and also all of our wonderful citizens. So many things going on. We had the presidential debate just a few days ago, and boy, was it something else. If a person ever wants to reveal themselves, Joe Biden really revealed who he was. The Marxist, the socialist, in the bed with Bernie Sanders, and we're going to expose all those things today. Before we get moving, you can check us out also at SoundCloud over there, at The American's Voice and Yanni. You can also send us an email at theamericasheartbeat@yahoo.com. That is americasheartbeat@yahoo.com. No doubt about it. Glad to have you guys here on the Tabby Show. Yes, where everyone's views are welcome, mainly mine. But I want to get off in today about, and I want to talk about the media bias. The media, many years past, we would have the media and they would whole serve. They would keep themselves under control. They would monitor their behavior. Not so much nowadays. Nowadays, there is a constant heartbeat of treacherous actions, a constant heartbeat of spear throwing, rock chucking, accusation hurling. It is a constant dripping, and I think the American people are pretty tired of it right about now. I think they're ready to charge the hill. I think they're ready to vote some people out of office, and that's what we've come to right now. So many days we've been waiting, 4.5 years. But I wanted to talk about this leftist, Lesley Stahl, and her in her 60 Minutes interview. You know, I went and I did some research, and I was going back looking at film footage and tape of past interviews, just with the like Joe Biden and the Kamala Harrises of the world. And what I found when I looked at those interviews were softball questions. And once again, they gave softball answers. This situation that we're encountering in the world right now, we have a pandemic going on, but I want to talk about later about another type of pandemic. And people say, "Well, you're all dark and you're bleak." No, that's the other side. The Trump agenda will be sought through. The excitement and the enthusiasm in the war for all the Trump and the Trump supporters out there, it's booming. They're beating, their hearts beating, and it's red, white, and blue. I mean, it's undeniable. And I want to talk about California a little later in the program. But I caught an article, and this is going to be a brim tilt to Breitbart. CBS News, Lesley Stahl. Biden laptop can't be verified because it can't be verified because it can't be verified. And that's kind of tongue twisting if you think about it. The Biden laptop can't be verified because it can't be verified. What kind of garbage and jargish is that, or gibble, or dribble, or any type of word? I'm at a loss of words because it's so stupid. But it can't be verified. And so no one actually told the president or anyone why it can't be verified. But in the fake news media world we live in nowadays, the overwhelming bias that we see in the media nowadays, it can't be verified. It said right here, 60 Minutes correspondent Lesley Stahl. Let's call her Leslie Leftist Stahl. Can we call her that, ladies and gentlemen? Leslie Leftist Stahl. Because these people aren't journalists. They're activists for Joe Biden, and they're special pleaders for Hunter Biden. How the hell does this guy get a pass? As I look at this article here, and it says Leslie Leftist or Lefty Stahl claimed the contents of Hunter Biden's alleged abandoned laptop can't be verified, offering literally circular reasoning to defend the statement during the interview with President Donald Trump posted Tuesday. We're going to put a lion's share into the program today. And I'm so excited. Got a great program for you guys, by the way. We're going to really get things turning. But right now, to get the wheels turning for the beginning of the week, your starting pitcher is up on the mound. And I'm ready to go. But it says here, and it's lame. This is some lopsided crap here, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at the transcript. And when all else fails, look for the transcript. When all else fails, look for the transcript. When they had this whole Ukraine scandal going on for the President of the United States, you looked at the transcript, and once again, it was a perfect call, just like he said. This transcript says here, President Donald Trump, and I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to say what she said, and I'm going to say what he said. And then I got some clips that are broken up too as well for you ladies and gentlemen. You guys are going to love the treat I have for you today, because we're going to completely mutilate and tear apart these left agenda working idiots out here. These moonbats are going crazy and they don't know what to do with themselves. President Donald Trump, I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. Now, has that not been the truth for the media? When it comes to a Republican candidate, when it comes to a conservative, when it comes to somebody that loves God and country, they love hot dogs and hamburgers. Hey, they love to have a nice milkshake from time to time. Hey, let's go to the drive-in movies. That is American culture. Okay, it's a mix of so many things and cultures that came together, escaping the life of oppression, escaping taxation without representation. And now what they want to do, they want to put us right back in that situation again. Like Joe Biden said, we're going to put you all in chains. He said that. Lesley Stahl replies, because it can't be verified. What? He says, so you don't cover it, but she says it can't be verified because it can't be verified. And then Trump says, you want to talk about insignificant things. Stahl, I'm telling you, Trump, of course it can be verified. Excuse me. They found the laptop, so they have a laptop in their possession. Here they go. Mr. FBI. They drop Hunter Biden's laptop right there that they got from the pawn shop owner. The sticker that was on the laptop. Beau Biden. The information that was inside the laptop. Hunter Biden. Crack pipes. Sexually explicit pictures. Things that you should not have left and signed over to somebody else because of your negligence. But she said it can't be verified. Trump says, what can't be verified? Now, Trump at this time, he's looking and he's thinking probably like, what world are you living in? What planet are you on? Because we're like two ships passing in the night and something's not connecting there. You know, you put her on the table, do them like Frankenstein, put those bolts in their neck, and let's put some electric shocks through these Democrats and see if it can wake them up. Because they're sleeping big time. They're snoozing. They're sitting on the biggest scandal in American history, with the exception of, like Donald Trump said, they spied on my campaign, right? With the exception of that, this is the biggest, guys, this is the biggest scandal in American history. And it's two of them, two gigantic whoppers right under the nose of you journalists. And you guys have an opportunity to do what's right, but you guys can't report it because you hate for Donald Trump is so grave. Let me tell you guys something. They hate Donald Trump to death. They hate his guts. So Trump said, after she said it can't be verified, and look at these sycophants for one Joe Biden. So Trump says, he says the family on the laptop, Joe Biden's gone into hiding for 5 days. He's gone into hiding. She says, he's preparing for your debate. Are you the special pleader and spokesperson for Mr. Joe Biden? Or are you a journalist? No, you're a leftist hack is what you are. And Trump says it's taken 5 days to prepare. I doubt it. Oh, okay, go ahead with the interview. And you guys are going to see the tape because I got some video bites I want to get off into today and kind of expose these frauds for who they are. It is a constant exposing process when it's coming to these leftists running down the street with their hair on fire because the orange man in the White House is extremely bad. He's going to wipe out your health care because you have pre-existing conditions. He's going to take away all of the rights for people in the country illegally. Joe Biden put a nail in his coffin of his campaign the other night when he said this, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to give a pathway to citizenship to the 11,000, wait a minute, to the 11,000 people, illegal aliens, not undocumented. And, I'm tired of this crap with the undocumented people. You broke the law. You're in a country that you're not supposed to be in. Get the hell out of here and come in the right way. And they can't do that. So she's here and she's defending him. So, and I'll share that bite later. But I've never seen anything like this, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen a media full-throated on one side. It is so lopsided. You look at Lady Justice. These scales are tilting so far to the left. It's crazy. And it's like this. You ask the interviewer a question and you get a chance to respond. And every time you try to answer a question, respond to a question, what they did to the President of the United States was, well, that's not true. Well, that's not true. Well, you asked me a question. If I'm asking and responding, allow me to respond and stop telling me what's not true if you're not me. It's so amazing. It's like these people are ventriloquists. They're in the mind of the president. What kind of water down journalistic world or malpractice that we're living in? It's horrible. Okay? And the media complex, the diabolical strands that are coming up, it has become intolerant. They're becoming overwhelmingly biased, and it's lopsided once again, like I said. And once again, we've seen these things before, the glimpses of corruption, and the whole bag. Everything's just playing out right in front of us. And I'm tired of it. You should be tired of it too. And so the goal is to get Joe Biden exposed for who he is, for the American people to see. And as we're doing our work on this side to expose him, she's doing her work on her side. Let's play video bite number 1. We're going to get this started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
A fantastic year next year.
Let me ask you what you think your the biggest domestic priority is for you right now.
Ultimately, let me, and I'll tell you, it was happening. We created the greatest economy in the history of our country, and the other side was coming in.
You know that's not true.
It is totally true.
No.
Best unemployment numbers, best employment numbers, 160 million people working, highest stock market price. You wouldn't say that to Biden, what you just said to me. If he had it, you would never say that to Biden. We had the best stock market price ever, and we're getting close to that price again. We had the best. Everything was the best. Our companies were doing better than they've ever done before. You cannot even think about talking about that.
Well, I'm not going to fact check you.
Well, you don't have to fact check me. I mean, excuse me, the stock market was at its highest.
This time you have kind of a double migraine. You have unemployment claims going up. You have COVID cases going up. I mean, it's like the gods have suddenly decided to conspire against
I
you.
don't think so at all, no. I think
Well,
we've done a
whatever
great
it
job
is.
with COVID.
Yeah,
And we've
but
hired,
the numbers are going up.
excuse
so-
me, 11.4 million people. Why? Because the last report was just a little bit off. And this is
No.
without,
Sir, excuse me, cases are up in about 40
okay,
states.
you know why cases are up also? Because we do more testing. If we didn't do testing, cases would be way
Yeah,
down.
but why are you saying they're not up? You know, you're saying things that people can see.
No, what I'm saying to you, Leslie, is the following. If we did half the testing, we'd have half the cases. If we did no testing, like many countries, we would have very few cases. Because we do so much testing, the fake news media loves to say cases are up. The fact is, we've done a very, very good job.
Cases are up?
We have done, that's right, because we're doing so much testing.
So there she is. She spent a lion's share talking about the China virus. She argues cases, more tests, or the testing results. Okay, and Trump broke this down. He says if I give a certain amount of tests, if I do half tests, I'm gonna get half truths. If I do more tests, I'm gonna get more truths. I'm gonna get more positive tests. And here's a problem I have with this too as well, this deceptive thing, because he broke this down. He was talking to someone else, the president was the other day. Cases versus positive tests. And I've talked about this before. A positive test, to me, if the person's not resembling, they don't have any sicknesses, they're not suffering under any duress, breathing problems or anything like that. You know, a little mild fever, sore throat, slight mild symptoms. They tested positive. That's just like you can go out with the common cold. You can catch a little bit of a sniffles and, you knock off the chills or whatever. But what they're doing, they're crossing the lines and they're building cases. Every single positive test, they're counting as a case, while in the face of their hypocrisy, we see the death rate, the mortality rate dropping. Can we talk about that for a second? It's dropping down. And yet the cases are going up, supposedly. No, the positive tests are going up. The cases are doing what they're supposed to. Just like the flu and any other thing like that in the world. And so let's be honest. They can't do that because they're worshiping at the altar of the coronavirus. They're hoping that it will help them win the election. They're hoping that it kneecaps Donald Trump. These people use every single opportunity to take a shot and a swipe at the president. But let's play a numbers game. And there are many ways to twist statistics. There are many ways to twist and contort words and make them seem the way you want them to seem in your favor. While all you Democrat and lefties out there, the two Democrats in the United States of America, it's you guys. But still, it's not enough. That lie that you're putting out there and never change the truth. You are entitled to your opinions, like Mike Pence said, but you're not entitled to have your own facts. The facts is the facts. Knock it out the park. Let's go video bite number 1.5. Knock it out the park. Let's go.
We're rounding the corner, and you tell Bob Woodward that you deliberately like to downplay this.
We are rounding the corner.
Are you
We're rounding the
deliberately
corner. We're
downplaying
doing well. We're doing well. We understand the disease. I saved millions of people. 2.2 million people were supposed to die. You go back and you look at your models, 2.2 million people. We saved tremendous numbers of people. Plus, I closed it very early from China, heavily infected, and even from Europe, heavily infected. We've done a good job. We've done maybe a great job. What we haven't done a good job on is convincing people like you, because you're really quite impossible to convince, but that's okay. And the economy now is coming back, and it's coming back very strongly. And people see that, Leslie.
You guys see what you're seeing here. The president said, and Dr. Fauci, you guys remember all the statistics they had out there, the graphs and the charts and all the computer program type future crap, the crap they put out there for us. Oh, this is gonna happen. Like 2012, the whole world is gonna end, right? And of course, according to Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, okay, she's always running her lips. But the president is a hero. Let's think about this for a second. He shut down travel and access to China, while Joe Biden and them was still wanting to stay open. You guys remember, go back and Google it. Look at the tape. Nancy Pelosi down there in downtown San Francisco telling people to come down and come to Chinatown. No masks or anything like that. Were they taking it serious? Were they following the science? Someone tell me. But if it's not 2 million deaths and it's a little over 200,000 now, don't get me wrong. And you lefties, don't be right me talking this trash because I will shut you down. Talking about, and people still died. Look, one death is too many. But there is cause and effect. People live, people die. There's things we can control. You can't control the lives that are lost from the flu, which the flu numbers are dropping like crazy. It's like they're clashing and the coronavirus is canceling something out. It's an amazing thing to think about. It's probably amazing to study. But shouldn't the president be applauded? Shouldn't he be applauded for his work, shutting it down? When Joe Biden called him a xenophobe, and they racist bigot, and all these other words. You know, the alphabet racial soup they're always throwing at us, people like us, people that voted for the president. I did. And so we should be all grateful that he acted. All the PPE, the ventilators, the Javits Center. He had New York set up. And everyone says, oh, New York is the way, they're the model we should follow. Look at Cuomo. Look at Cuomo in New York. Cuomo under his watch, over 30,000 people died in this pandemic. Worse than any state in the union. But that's what we should look at. This is a total joke. The media is in the bed with all these jokers, and it's up to us to expose and cut back and flesh out the skeleton so we know what we need to do and how we need to vote 9 days from now, guys. It is getting close, and I'm excited. And all the boat parades and the Trump rallies and people out there, all the supporters of the president, we got a good treat for you guys at the end of the program. And for what people try to say, for what it's worth, they try to tell us that the president is down the polls. Do you guys believe that? Looking at rally after rally after rally, this guy is doing 2-3 rallies a day. Looking at the home stretch, coming in for that, he sees the home plate right there and he's coming to slide in. And mind you, the bases are loaded. And the one that's right there at that batting plate is, i.e., the one Trump. Okay? So, once again, she moves him back into the coronavirus. We're having an interview. And I encourage you guys, too, as well, to go and look at the 60 Minutes interview and see the things that they edited out. What we're doing, we're looking at the underbelly, the ugly side of the media. What a lot of these jokers are doing out there. How they feel about the president. That means how they feel about you. They want to keep you uninformed. They want to keep you in a position to where the Jedi mind trick will always render you comatose. That's what they want to do. But they're just obsessed with coronavirus. Like they're obsessed with sex. They're obsessed with race. They're obsessed with bashing this country. I love America. And so it's up to us to stand guard and make sure these suckers get their hands off the power that they've been holding for a long time. Guys, these bureaucrats are very dangerous. You have unelected officials in Washington, and they're wielding power without you voting for them ever. You've never voted for these people, but they're wielding this power day in and day out. They're shaping opinion. They're working with media and these tech giants. It's just incredible, the whirlwind of mess that's going to be exposed. But right now, we have a moral responsibility and an obligation to get out here and vote. Look at the energy, look at the enthusiasm, and get out there and make it happen. But the virus affects the human mind. This virus here, I was talking about the obsession with the coronavirus, like sex and race. Okay, it's been over politicized. It's been over politicized, guys. Just like masks have been over politicized. Aren't you guys tired of the restrictions? Being handcuffed by people that have no faces. You don't know who they are, but they're running the country and they're guiding and shifting the political winds. Now, as I think back, as I was a younger man, about 20 years ago, and I remember I was in a hospital. I can't remember why I was in the hospital, but the mindset that I had back then, the bandwidth was so small. But the mindset that I had, I knew things had to change. I knew they were going to change. There was a new president in. I can't remember what president was, but every president, every administration brings a different feel to the world. It brings a different feel to America. But this pandemic has been over-politicized. The politicization of the coronavirus is worse than the coronavirus itself is turning out to be. Think about it. This virus affects the body, shuts down the respiratory system. But the virus that the coronavirus creates when it's been politicized, it affects the human mind. It's taking over the brain. It's rendering it atrophied, not able to move, not able to make out things, not able to think effectively. And the results, you're in a coma of mental proportions. America has been set into a coma, a self-induced coma by the media, by the lies, controlling academia, taking over every single college, the school systems. We talked about all these things before. And so what happens, you have this big old cabal, and you have the transformation of America, starting with your youth, indoctrination, and then it's game on. And so what are we fighting for? We're fighting for Trump. We're fighting for America. We're fighting for our families. We're fighting hell for another 50 years. Can we get 50 years, please? You know, it's so amazing how condescending and how pompous these fools are. Setting policy for a generation and fail to realize that policy they sets the demise of everybody else. So we're not done on this Lesley Stahl. I want to continue to tear her apart and some other things too as well, because we have to be in deep thought and make sure that our mind is where it needs to be right now. It's really important and imperative. And so I want to tear off into those things and put us in a position to strike first right here on the America's Voice with your host, I'm Yanni. Be back in 2.
sound stupid, it's just a figure of speech. See through your eyes, thinking you should relax, it's just nothing. This isn't good for your head or something. It's just a line in the sea to survive.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I am ready to roll and continue to move. But you guys here are in the right place at the right time, getting hyped on a Sunday morning, excited where we do the Vulcan Mind Meld every single week, setting you guys up to shoot off into the future here with Yanni, your stellar host.
It's just a figure of speech. See through your eyes, thinking you should relax, it's just nothing.
Oh yeah,
This isn't good for your head.
love it. Okay, let's move. I want to talk about the suburban women's vote, or the suburban woman vote. That's been on a topic of discussion for a lot of people too right now. Trump has lost the suburban woman's vote. He's lost the suburban woman's vote. That's what they say. And, you know, there's probably a part of him, a part of that vote that he probably did lose. You know, this pandemic threw a serious curveball to not just the president, but it threw a curveball to all of us. I mean, think about the lockdowns. Think about going to a restaurant. And think about your restaurant experience you had about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, a year ago. Things are not the same. I went into a Denny's a few weeks ago, had a meeting there. And as I'm sitting down, I'm looking at the whole landscape of the place. No salt and pepper shakers. No ketchup on the table. They're bringing out ketchup packets. What am I do with a ketchup packet? You know, but this is the world we live in, so we want to embrace it. But what we want to be careful of, we want to make sure they don't steal our freedoms. We want to make sure they don't suppress us. But the suburban woman's vote, does Trump have their vote or not? That's a question. You know, in the face of public opinion, you would think he doesn't. But the other night, Joe Biden talked about getting rid of oil and gas. You guys remember that, right? Getting rid of oil and gas. And realistically, I like oil. I like gas. I like putting oil in my car. I like going for a drive. When I'm about to run out of petrol, I like stopping by a Shell gas station and filling up. It makes me feel good. I love the rev of the American technology my vehicle provides. It's amazing. But the president made a joke the other day, and Leslie Stahl, these lefties, they can't. There's a comedy or a connection to where they can't even laugh at a real joke. Have you guys seen the comedy of these lefties when they're desperate? Oh my gosh, please don't do it. But anyways, let's get off in the video by number 2. We're gonna have once again this activist being combative against the president of the United States. And you know what? He's going to shut her down, but she keeps coming back for more. Video by number 2, please. Let's go.
Let me ask you something about suburban women.
Yeah.
You said the other day to suburban women, will you please like me, please?
Oh, I didn't say that. You know, that's so misleading the way I say jokingly, suburban women, you should love me because I'm giving you security and I got rid of the worst regulation. See, the way you said that
Yeah.
is why people think of you and everyone else as fake news. I said kiddingly, suburban women, you should love me. I got rid of a regulation
You said
that would bring
both.
low-income housing into suburbia that would destroy suburbia. And I said that in a joking way. The way you have it, it's like, oh, like I'm begging. I'm kidding. Play it, and I'm kidding. That is such a misleading question, Leslie.
But you're behind the suburban women in the polls.
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
One of the
I'm
things,
saving suburbia. He's going to destroy suburbia. He's got a regulation which I terminated that he would put back, and even worse, that will bring low-income housing projects into suburbia. And women understand that, and they've really learned about it over the last 2-3 weeks. I terminated the worst regulation you could possibly have. It's gone. and suburban women appreciate it. They want security, they want safety. Look, I've been endorsed by almost every police department, almost every law enforcement group in the country. He's been endorsed by almost nobody. Suburban women want security.
But the polls show that you're behind with them. And one of the reasons, let me
You're not
say
looking
this,
at recent polls.
one of the reasons is that they don't feel you're being upfront about the pandemic. And when you say...
So here she is taking things out of context and not getting the joke. You guys saw it, right? That's the leftist brain. There's something wrong. The moon comes out and the moon bats are howling at the moon. And she was in full moon bat mode. She's crazy. Okay? And you know what? And Trump knew what was going on. It's so funny because when they call and they set up these appointments or these interviews for these candidates or, you know, even Republicans or whatever. I'm going to tell you one thing. Don't doubt me on this. They're going for the setup. They're going to set them up. But what she was talking about, though, the suburbs being saved, or Trump was talking about, was the Affirmative Furthering Fair Housing Act, or the AFFH, an Obama and Biden administration regulation. This regulation will allow the government to start to zone the suburban areas where the suburban white women are. You know, you soccer moms out there that can't stand Trump's tweets. He's so vulgar at times. Let me tell you something. President Trump fights for America. I said the other day that he's courting America, while Joe Biden is just trying to con America. Let me say that again. President Trump is courting America, while Joe Biden is trying to con America. He wants your vote so he can do the flip-flop. Go look at that manifesto, that 110-page manifesto on his website. Well, and he's been distancing himself from AOC and Bernie Sanders, but he's still breathing and mouthing the platitudes of that platform. Because where his heart is where it's at. Birds of a feather flock together. And so it'll allow these governmental agencies to start to erect these skyscraping projects. And of course, obviously, if Biden gets his way, he'll put brand new buildings with the little glass in the windows, like they want to replace all the buildings in the United States of America. That $100 trillion plan, they said $7 trillion, but it's a lie. They want to take over the country. But she don't understand, if you allow low-income housing to be planted in the middle of a middle class to upper class area in your country or in the city or in the state or the county, you're going to attract crime. This is a fact. You can't refute this. The crime is going to come. The drugs, the prostitution, and it might not happen overnight. Don't get me wrong here. But me growing up in the ghetto, me growing up and looking at people being shot, stabbed, and thrown in jail, thrown in prison, get on the streets, get back out, they're back in prison, they're not rehabilitated, and it's amazing because they say that the prison system should be a place of rehabilitation. That just isn't true. We have criminals figuring out how to be more strategic in their criminalism or their criminal acts. And so the criminal justice reform program and all the programs Trump is working on is just going to get better. And so subject matter number 3, the president's trying to move along, have a great conversation, want to have a great interview. He wants to get his word out. The president wants to get his message out there so we can hear and we can judge, we can dissect, we can analyze. That's what adults do, right? Let this government take over, and we can't think for ourselves. They want to raise us from cradle to the grave. They want to tell us what to eat, what to wear, what kind of cars to drive. Oh, those emissions is too high. Who made you guide of the emissions? Well, it's too high for me. Well, it might be too high for you, but what's too high for you ain't too high for me. Get the hell out of my face. And so he's trying to move on. And what does she do? No! The whole boomerang, circular motion, circular conversation, circling fire squad at themselves most of the time because they sound so stupid. We're going to go back to the pandemic. Again, these people are partisan hacks. And I'm going to show you about their hackery. Is that a word, hackery? We're going to look at the dictionary and say, hackery is my new word. But they're partisan. But they're hurling accusations at the president constantly. Unverified lies directed at the president of the United States. Where's the respect? Where's the honor for the office? They try to say that President Donald Trump has degraded the office of the presidency, but I beg to differ. Let me tell you why. He follows the law. He goes to the courts. He follows the Constitution. And in fact, President Trump is probably the most conservative president I've seen in my lifetime. Yeah, the womanizing. Yeah, the trash talking. Yeah, the Twitter demon. Yeah, the orange man in the office. Yeah, the guy that's going to start World War III. Oh, him, Kim Jong-un's best friend. Oh, the one that's in Putin's pocket. On and on and on. And you guys should be tired of it. But I want to talk about some of this crap. Because he tries to move on, but she pulls him back to the pandemic. Video bite number 3. Let's look at this crazy activist. Go.
Disaster. They didn't know what they were doing.
Can we go back for 1 second to the pandemic? Because you called Dr. Fauci and other health officials idiots. And
Dr. Fauci, where did I call him an idiot?
I'm wondering if you
Where did I call him an idiot?
You called them idiots. I wonder if you
Well, he's been
think-
wrong a lot. I like him, but he's been wrong
I
a lot.
wonder if you think that masks don't work.
Well,
That's
Dr.
what
Fauci
you're
originally said, it's a very
But what
complex
do you
subject.
say? Do you say
Let me
masks
just tell
don't
you, you
work?
mentioned Dr. Fauci said, don't wear masks. Then he said, wear them.
What do you
I
think?
say that I feel masks possibly work. But certainly you want to stay away a certain distance, socially distance, etc. But I would say a mask works, and I have nothing against masks. And I tell people
Tell me then about these rallies you've been having.
a lot of people are wearing
People-
masks,
a
and they're
lot of people
outside.
aren't. I'm watching all these people jammed in together, and I'm seeing most of them without masks. And I'm wondering the message that you're sending with these pictures coming across.
Take a look.
the-
Yesterday, we were.
Are you guys starting to see the picture that I'm painting to you? Are you guys starting to see? If this is one person, ladies and gentlemen, think about the plethora of and the pockets of people that think like this woman. And the hell with Dr. Anthony Fauci. He did say don't wear a mask at the beginning. Donald Trump is like this. You give me your word should be your word. I'm doing business, I'm a businessman. So don't tell me one thing and then you come a month later, a week later, 2 weeks later, the deal changes because, oh, something came up. That's not good business. And so for a long time, the world in this country, the United States of America, our world that we know, we wanted a businessman to run the United States of America. We wanted to see what that be like. And here comes Donald Trump. Not the most class in the world, not articulate in speech all the time, not very charismatic like Obama, but I'm looking for results. And Dr. Fauci didn't give us that results. So Trump has that business mindset. You're the infectious disease specialist, right? You have all the answers, right? That's why you're going to get recommendations to mask mandates. You want to mandate mask wearing. Why don't you go work for the Biden administration? Shouldn't you be working for Biden? In fact, how many people are embedded inside the Trump administration? Which I'm going to tell you right now. Here's a prediction. Within 3 months or before, on the 25th of October 2020, within 3 months of Donald Trump being elected again, and it might happen after November 3rd, or he might wait until the new year, he's going to start the purge, the great purge of the intelligence agencies, the great purge of these tech giants, the great purge of the Democrats, which we can get rid of Democrats. They're still going to be able to fight them. But the great purge of the Senate and the Congress. Now, when you're responsible and the Senate and the Congress is in your hands, that's a good thing. But if you want to take the Senate and Congress over, the House over, just so you can push through a diabolical agenda that's anti-American, anti-country, and pro-Marxist, pro-socialist, this just doesn't work for the American people. And so, if I'm President Trump, Dr. Anthony Fauci, I just remove him. And I just say, hey, your services were good. Thank you for your help. But if you think about it, hold on, guys. How come no one's holding Dr. Anthony Fauci accountable for this whole country being locked down? For the deaths, for the suicides, for the other killings, for the kids not getting the things that they need, for them not being in school, being educated on a high level. Or how about the special needs kids that have those special needs and only that school system can provide it for them? See, we're not thinking about them. We're damaging these kids under the guise of protection. We gotta protect them. Okay? I'm gonna agree with what the president said. He said this. He said you can't hide forever. You can't hide in a bunker away from this disease. You have to face it. And that's where American exceptionalism comes in at. Okay? But then she asked the mask question again. And again and again. You know, the mask shaming. And I'll get to that in a minute. But the goal is to get him caught in the cross. And believe me, the president is very aware. And so the video footage, the bites that we're looking at, these bites are him saying, I know I'm walking into an ambush. I'm going to record it. I'm going to show the world, the American people, how corrupt and how biased these people are. Okay? And they want to hit these one-hit liners. You know, like the Jim Acostas of the world. What a disgrace. So they can be on the news in the evening time. So they can get their narrative out there to their dry audience. The whole 10 people they got. CNN, their whole 13 people they got. But they all got the memo. Because the same question she was asking the president. And mind you, this was recorded before the debate the other night. But in the whole echo chamber, the groupthink, the questions that she was asking, go back and watch the debate and then watch what I'm showing you. And they got the memo. Okay? This crap is uncovered. These questions are almost identical. So, I want to move on because we want to talk about crowd shaming. I call this subject matter 4. And mass shaming, crowd size and mass shaming. We want to minimize. In 2016, or since 2016, Donald Trump, you guys know, has had serious crowds, massive crowds. And the media's refusal to show the crowds. They show it now for the most part since he's been coming up for the home stretch, but they didn't want to show the crowds because they didn't want the world to see the momentum. They didn't want America to see the heartbeat. Every time there's a Trump rally, don't doubt me on this either. The people that show up, that is the heartbeat of this country. They're excited about America. They're excited about being prosperous. They're excited about jobs. They're excited about a booming economy. What is there not to be excited about in America to where you can become a multi-millionaire from nothing? You can create a multi-million-dollar business from scratch in this country, and it's amazing. This is the best country in the world, the greatest experiment in American history that has succeeded. But we want to throw it and hurl us back into the Stone Ages to where we're looking like Venezuela. Why? We're too competitive on the world stage. America's too good at what they do. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. But this whole mask thing, even since he caught COVID, it's always a topic of discussion. You know, and we know that one of the president's trademarks is the crowd size. One of his characteristics of Joe Biden, his ability is to draw like 8 cars. So Trump pulls people, Biden pulls cars. Who do you want to roll with? I want to roll with the one to roll with the people. Or is the car going to go fight for you in the middle of the night? Is the car going to come? Well, a car will pick you up, but the car's not going to drive itself. Well, they got autonomous cars too. Anyway, you guys get my point, right? A human being's a living being. It is not a car. And when Obama spoke the other day, he drew like 15 cards. It was so cool, Obama. And they're out there honking. The other day it was like, cars honking is like, are you happy for me, or you just want me to get out of the way? One or the other. One or the other is happening right there. But let me ask you a question though, guys. How she was challenging the question, the questions to the president. Do you guys not think the president know what crowd sizes he has? You guys think he might know that? You think he might have a clue about his crowd size? I think he might. Do you guys think the president has a clue of who's attending this rally or how big his rallies are? In fact, by the way, he's the one standing on stage. By the way, he's the one giving the speech. By the way, he's the one inciting the crowd. By the way, he's the one inserting a needle into the arm and injecting everyone with a mega burst of patriotism. America, the experiment. America, the beautiful. It is truly an amazing country, and we've taken it for granted. But the president sees these things, and in her eyes, these things aren't true. There's an alternate universe in the mind of a leftist. There's an ultimate paradox. The way that they think, the way the cylinders fire, something just is not connecting there. The synapses aren't firing. And we're going to find out as we continue. Video bite number 4. Check this out.
Arizona, record-setting rallies, numbers of people like nobody's seen before. Many masks. I watched. What?
You used to have bigger rallies.
No, these are much bigger than I ever
I
had.
don't want to bigger over
You
that.
know,
Tell me about
you're so
the mask
negative.
wear.
You're so negative. These are the biggest rallies we've ever had. You just come in here with that negative attitude. These are the biggest rallies we've ever had. We are having numbers like we've never had.
Tell me about the
There is
masks.
more, excuse me, no, but you made a statement. There's more enthusiasm right now for us than we ever had before, ever. And you will see that in a short period of time. And we're doing it out
But
there.
I can't believe after what happened in the Rose Garden here, after the announcement, with all the people getting sick, that you are not being more strongly encouraging about wearing masks at your
I
rallies.
tell people to wear
But you
masks.
don't.
Leslie, we hand out thousands of masks.
But you
at
look
every
out and
rally.
you're not wearing them. And you don't say, please put on
Well,
your
and you've
mask.
been looking yesterday, take a look at outside.
And you don't get up there and say, look, you know, come on. I
Well,
don't
what's
want you
your,
to
what's your
get
next
sick.
question, Leslie? We're outside. The rallies are bigger than they've ever been. There's more enthusiasm than we've ever had. There has never been anything like what you're witnessing now, and you'll see that soon.
Okay, but I'm asking about masks, not about the size of your rallies. I'm asking why
You
you want to
commented on the size of the
I know,
rally.
but
You
I'm
said they're not
asking-
as big as they used to be, and I'm telling you they're much bigger.
Okay, but I'm asking you now about the masks. Why aren't you getting up there and saying, I had it, I don't want you to get it, so please
Leslie,
put your mask on?
we hand out masks to everybody that comes to the rally. We tell them to wear the masks.
You don't. They love you. They would
Next
pay
question, go
attention
ahead.
to
Go ahead.
anything you said.
I hope you're right.
The constant badgering, the constant interrupting of the president. And it's so amazing. She keeps going back to these masks. These damn masks, like it's going to save the world. You got Joe Biden on the stage out there clutching a mask. You can save 100,000 lives. Bro, you don't know that. You don't know what type of people are going to survive nuclear fallout if a nuclear bomb gets dropped in another part of the world. You don't know how many people are going to die. You're not Nostradamus, neither are you God. But they want to make you think with psychological screwing that they have all the answers. Big brother, it's the government. Compared to the softballs that Joe Biden be getting, it's amazing. In the president's case, in his direction, they're throwing flying fireballs. Joe Biden gets these little softballs the size of grapefruits. You know, you're in the ninth inning in the tournament in Hemet, California. All the seniors out there, they're swinging and missing. You strike, you're out. Joe Biden goes and sits down on the bench. He hits the pine. But seriously though, it's amateur hour with this Biden-Harris ticket. It's full-throated socialism. They want to take us down that path. I don't want to go down that path. It's dark down there. You're hungry down there. You ain't got no gas down there. You ain't got your own home. You're stacked on top of each other with projects. You know the zoning. But a side note, I'm showing all you guys, ladies and gentlemen, the underbelly of this media. This is the podcast, is what we're facing every single day. This is the reason why it's imperative to defeat these leftists. Turn them into cream corn. Smash them like green pea soup. I'll be throwing up on them like the Exorcist, you know, head spinning in a circle. But President Trump rightfully recorded this video, I believe, and he put it out there. What the president is doing, he's snitching on these politicians. He's snitching on these media pundits. Activists. He's snitching on these Democrats. And he's snitching on these tech giants. Day in, day out, he's beating the drum. He's the Paul Revere. He's the Thomas Paines of the world. That's him. That's you. That's me. We have an opportunity right now to really make an impact and kick dust. But I'm not done. I'm just like that show, that commercial. Wait, there's more. The healthcare lie. How many times have we heard them talk about removing the pre-existing conditions and the president's going to take your healthcare, seniors? Well, he's the bad guy. Well, we got Governor Cuomo slaughtering 11,000 of our seniors in New York, packing them in like sardines with COVID positive patients and with their weakened state. Let this sink in, guys. He put them in there with COVID positive patients with their frail bodies and their weakened state. They succumbed to the corona, the China virus. What they call it, the Chinese, but it's not the Chinese fault. It came from China. So it's the China virus. And so these people are dead. And so, Joe, you hypocrite, when you stand on stage again and you talk about this little spill, your little spill sounds like something that's written. You darn politicians. That's exactly what Trump was talking about. You're a politician. When you turn and you look across the table and your loved one's not there because they died from COVID. Bruh, the guy in your same party slaughtered 11,000 in his state. Almost 40,000 dead. The president didn't do that. The president didn't make the regulations and stuff in there. The president put the mandates down. He did. So, it's a sad state of affairs. But let's move on. I want to talk about subject matter 5 because it gets deeper. This healthcare lie. The statements made by the media, the pre-existing condition thing, like I said, they're going to take it away. Well, Trump wants to lower prices. He's going to cover that pre-existing condition. Their prices goes higher. Obamacare. And Joe Biden, he told a mega whopper the other night. He said no one lost their health care under Obamacare. And you can keep your doctor. Lie, lie, lie. He gets 4 Pinocchios, just like Adam Schiff, because he's constantly lying. And then they say this here. If you have a plan, show us. Why don't you show us? Well, here's my rational thinking. Trump has pride. So I can promise you he has some type of plan. He has something in the works. But another thing too. Why should I discuss the plans that I have if I know I'm still in court fighting Obamacare? Let that sink in. Why am I going to go out and mouth what type of plan I have and how good it is and how great it is? I mean, I can do that. But going deep off in the details, and the president did offer to show her some stuff afterwards, after the interview. But she was bad. She didn't behave herself. So the president cut it short. So the numbers and stuff I'm sure she was going to get, maybe the president did give it to her, but he took off and tucked tail. So Obamacare is going to be around for a while. And so I want you to think about, why should I go out and spit all my information out to you and to anybody if I know I'm still working and still fighting on this crap? This legislation, the tentacles that Obamacare had, the individual mandate, what Trump got rid of, those tentacles were deep too. And he's removing, it's like surgery. Obama was very strategic. Let me tell you what, Obama's not a dummy, ladies and gentlemen. He was very strategic when he put these plans together. He put little landmines and booby traps and bombs and trap doors and locked doors. Let's look at video bite number 5. Then we're going to take a break. Let's go.
Okay. This is important. Okay, I'll ask you another health question. Okay? You promised that there was going to be a new health package, healthcare plan.
People with pre-existing conditions will be always protected, always.
But if the Supreme Court ends this with Obamacare,
Well, we'll have to see what happens. It's got a ways to go. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it'll end up with, and also, you know, a large part of this country has private health insurance.
Yes.
180 million people, and under that, Biden, he doesn't have any clue, but under that, 180 million people will lose their health care. 180 million people, Leslie, will go to socialized medicine. It will not be accepted.
and if the Affordable Care Act is determined to be unconstitutional.
Then we're gonna have new, and it's gonna be very good, and it's
But
gonna.
you keep saying that and don't show it to us. And so people with pre-existing
We've
conditions.
come up with many plans,
The
Leslie.
report says that Obamacare goes away. People with pre-existing conditions will be stranded, and that's just a fact.
It's wrong. It's
No.
wrong. It's terminated as we know it. Now we have the carcass of Obamacare.
Well, part of the
We've
carcass
managed
is
it well.
pre-existing.
Leslie, we've managed it well. You know, I had a choice to make. When we got rid of the individual mandate, nobody believed we could do that, and I did it.
Can you guys believe this? Can you guys believe what you guys, not just what you're hearing, but what you're seeing? And all she talks about, pre-existing conditions. The individual mandate was gone through the legislation. Donald Trump followed the rules. He didn't run to a court. He didn't run to the Supreme Court to try to get things changed. He went through the proper channels. Now, he goes to the court to challenge these things. And he's been extremely restrained and committed to protecting. And right now, what he's doing, as he's having this interview, you guys might think, to the untrained eye, to the weak Jedi mind trick falling Democrats out there, what he is doing, he is defending the office of the presidency. It's like defending your home. I do the same thing. But they're immune to facts. So, but we're just getting on a roll. And I got more for you guys, because the fix is in for Joe Biden. No doubt about it. They want him to win. Iran wants him to win. Russia wants him to win. China wants him to win. Just like they wanted Hillary Clinton to win, and it didn't happen that way. But we're on a roll, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, your stellar genius captain is on a roll like toilet paper. And we're wiping away all the crap, the bureaucracy that's dumping on us every single day. Get ready, and we're going to have a big flush when we come back on The American's Voice. Let's go.
This state of mind, where nothing is forever, it all comes easily. Anything can go wrong.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Glad to have you guys back here on this incredible, beautiful Sunday morning in this beautiful October in the United States of America. Let's dive right back in. You know, without President Trump being the president, there are a few things that we wouldn't know about. We wouldn't know about the General Flynn scandal, which they're still trying to shoestring and handcuff and hamstring this guy. We wouldn't know about Carter Page. We wouldn't know about the inner workings of James Comey, Jen Clapper. You know, next week, I think I want to travel down the path or travel down memory lane, so to speak. And I think I want to talk about the mindset that America had when Donald Trump became the president of the United States of America. How happy he was. What a festive time that it was. But at the same time, what a corrupt, diabolical, insane situation was going on behind the scenes. Oh yes, Barack Obama. Oh yes, Jim Clapper. Oh yes, James Comey. Oh yes, John Brennan. Oh yes, Susan Rice. Oh yes, Joe Biden, Mr. Logan's Act. And then the acting attorney general. They're all there. Guys, you know it's the same cast of characters that keep breathing these lies. They're the same ones who are on the receiving end of the crime that's being done. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. Nothing to see here. Just move along. And that's how it's been. That's been how it's been for many, many years. And you know what? Thank God for President Donald Trump coming and changing the characteristics, changing the chemistry of Washington, D.C. We will drain the swamp. But what I want to talk about right now is the corrupt politician. And I'm not just talking about Joe Biden. I'm talking about the whole underlining or that underbelly of the backroom deals, the greasing of the palms, the greasing of the skins, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Choose your acronym and put it into place, put it in use, okay? But what you guys are about to see is the nature of this media. I've been building this skeleton for you for a reason, allowing you to see, yeah, this is one isolated situation. But bad company corrupts good manners. You put a bad apple in a barrel of other apples, it's going to corrupt it. But we have a corrupt media, and they're covering for a corrupt politician. How they push their agendas. How they've overtaken academia. How they've taken over the conversation of our country pertaining to race, pertaining to culture. You know, you look at the Black Lives Matter thing, for instance. All Democrats. I've never met a Republican that embraced the ministry, the religion of BLM. And it's so funny because the last couple weeks I haven't really talked about them. So many more things that are really important. If we focus on the main thing is going to take care of everything. Let me say that again. If we focus on the main thing is going to take care of everything. Right now, we're working on getting Donald Trump reelected so we can finish the job. And once we do that, that's the main thing. Everything else will be taken care of once we get ourselves in that position to win. And I'm going to tell you what, he's working his tail off for the United States of America. And so they've taken over the conversation. But this bite right here.
I just know it's a laptop, and they haven't.
And you're making this one of the hottest, most important issues in your rallies.
I don't know about the two gentlemen you mentioned.
This is the most important issue in the country.
It's a
right
very
now.
important issue to find out whether or not a man's corrupt who's running for president, who's accepted money from China and from Ukraine and from Russia. Money, his family from Russia, from Ukraine, from China, and from other places.
And
His brother, who didn't have experience, became a big builder in Iraq without experience. Take a look, and then you say that shouldn't be discussed.
I'm saying,
It's the biggest scandal out there, Leslie.
and you think it's the biggest issue to campaign on.
I think it's this. I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and we don't cover it. You want to talk about?
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk
I'm
about
telling you.
insignificant things?
I'm telling you.
Of course, it can be verified. Excuse me.
We
They
cannot
found the
verify.
laptop, Leslie.
It can't be
Leslie,
verified.
what can't be verified?
The laptop,
Leslie,
the reason.
we're in the White House. The press is very biased, very, very biased. And I'm not talking
You're
about
trying to
I'm talking
discredit
about,
us.
no,
Yes.
no, I'm not. You're discrediting yourself, Leslie.
No, you are.
Leslie, you're discrediting
You
yourself.
characterize your supporters. Can you,
Yeah, I think I can. People that love our country.
but do you think that when you hold rallies and encourage people to say, lock her up, the way you
I don't encourage them. They say it.
And you
Hillary
admit it.
Clinton,
You
let
won't
me just say,
don't do
Hillary
that.
Clinton she deleted 33,000 emails after she got a subpoena from the United States Congress.
Why does
No, that's
that-
illegal.
I know, but why?
And why somebody doesn't do something
But
about
Why
it.
is this still an issue? Why do
I think
people-
it's
all right,
right.
but you-
Why would I lock her up? No, but why did you say you don't want to lock up the governor? Of course I don't want to lock her up. Why would I lock her up?
Because you were in front of a rally of people saying it, encouraging it.
I never said it, Leslie. I never said lock
So you
up the
don't want
governor.
to lock up.
Leslie, it's such a vicious thing you just said. I never said lock up the governor of Michigan. I would never say that.
Well, did
Why
you-
would I say that?
Well, what
Because
about the
she's
Bidens?
doing
Do
lockdowns.
you want to lock up the
No, I
Bidens?
don't want to lock them up,
What
but they
about
certainly
Obama?
should be looked at.
Obama? You want to lock up Obama?
No, I don't want to lock them up, but he spied on my
You
campaign.
know, I didn't want to have this kind of.
Of course you did.
No, I didn't.
Of course you
No, I
did.
didn't.
Well, then you brought up a lot of subjects that
Well, I said
were
I'm going to ask
inappropriately
you
brought
tough
up.
questions.
But when you set up the interview, you didn't say that. You said, oh, let's have a lovely interview. And here's what I do say.
So why?
You don't ask Joe Biden. I saw your interview with Joe, the interview with
I
Joe
never-
Biden.
If you could make this up in some type of story, you can't even make it up this good in the movie. Look, guys, she's bought and paid for by the leftist, loony bin, media, and everybody else. It's the biggest scandal. I mean, think about it. The biggest scandal of American history, like I said. And she responds, maybe it's the biggest issue to campaign on. Where is these people's mindset at? The thing is, they don't have it. It seems like every single interview is a fight with the president. Whether it be Chris Wallace or whether it be her, whether it be Jim Acosta, these are total hacks. Look at her lack of disrespect for the law, completely disregarding of 30,000 emails. Just like, well, this is not an issue. Well, this is old news. If a crime was done a year ago and was not brought to justice, ladies and gentlemen, it is still a crime. Okay? If I stab somebody yesterday, 10 days, 13 days pass by, I'm still the candidate that stabbed the victim. Let's stop changing things. So the emails were subpoenaed, the cell phones were smashed with hammers, the hard drives got bleach bit on them. Just erased everything. Does that not show you intent of criminology? She had criminal intentions. She said that it was a non-issue. She says that that was last time. So we talked about the emails last election 2016. We can't talk about them now. What the hell does that mean? She still hasn't been brought to justice, ladies and gentlemen. So what do? Checks and balances need to be brought into focus. So that's all, Leslie Stahl. I encourage you guys to go out and look at the real interview and see how they edit everything. But guys, Trump, it's imperative for him to win. It's imperative for him to take the reins of this country and get us back on track. For sure, no doubt about it. You know, I have a subscriber of the week comment I haven't done in a few weeks. And I want to read one of the subscriber comments of the week. I like to pick out one and share it with the audience out there. And I want to talk about what Charles said. It was on a post. He says, the double standard is sickening. Talking about the media. And it's funny because the topic that we're talking about, it falls right in there. He said the double standard is sickening. Joe Biden and the Democrats, they always get a pass. they're asking him the flavors of ice cream instead of asking about Hunter's snow cone habit and the crack pipe pictures. Nothing to see here, rosy glasses. And that's Charles, one of our subscribers. Thanks so much, for Charles, for the feedback. Guys, we love the feedback. So keep on sending it. But guys, we're in the time of peace. I want you guys to think about this for a second. United States of America, we're sitting in a time of peace. And in fact, President Donald Trump, last month, about a month ago, he brokered not one, not two, but in a month's time, 3 peace deals. But there's more. President Donald Trump just brokers a historic peace agreement between Israel and the Sudan. Guys, I say that to say this. When is the last time you guys heard about ISIS? When is the last time you heard about people being beheaded, boiled in oil, or boiled alive, or drowned alive, or taken captive? How about domestic terrorism? All we have right now is those leftist movements that are terrorizing this country. But let's look at the whole world abroad. How's the world looking, ladies and gentlemen? How about China and Russia and Iran and North Korea? All the threats and dangers that were supposed to happen under this president. Ladies and gentlemen, it hasn't happened. So it makes me say, someone's not being honest here. So that's something to think about. But this laptop from hell, it just keeps showing up in the news, and we see Joe Biden, and they're trying to distance himself from this laptop from hell. Oh, and also too, another note, guys, Donald Trump is bringing the troops back from Afghanistan. They've been floating around in obscurity out there for almost 20 years. We've been fighting a war that's not a war, but it is a war for 20 years, still losing people over time, the trickle effect. And what for? When you start to lose focus of what you're fighting for, it's probably time to put a lid on and say, hey, it's done and over. But back to this laptop from hell. It looks normal. I have a laptop here. I have an iPad. I have a couple of laptops. You open it, you're sitting there for a second, and you hear looking around like, what the hell's going on here? It's the laptop from hell. Okay? It has these big old teeth appear. These big old bloody fangs appear, dripping blood all over the place. You know what I mean? And you're the victim. But my question is this. How come they fear? And what you hear, they fear information here on this side in America. But on the other side of the pond, whether it be Australia, whether it be England, they see things a little bit differently. They're still leftists over there. And I've come to this conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 frames of mind. There is no in between. There's no middle ground. You hear people say the undecided voters are the people that are in the middle. There's either left or right. Okay? And in the same note, on the other side of the pond, liberalist lefties, they have a mental disorder too. They refuse to see the truth. This proves that facts, even when they're given to them, okay, they can't get it. They can't grasp it. It slips off their back like water off a duck's back. But my belief is they're either on one side or the other. Sky News Australia. This is an exchange that happened between a couple so-called journalists. It might be pundits, it might be activists, I don't know. They all had accents. I thought it was so cool the way they talk. I wouldn't talk like that. Sound like you're from Harry Potter, right? I walk in the room and they'd be like, honey, could you make me a cup of tea? A cup of tea, please. She probably think that's sexy. Ain't that right, hon? But the left is polluting everywhere they go. All over the world. So you see lefties over there. You see lefties over here. You see psycho lunatics over there. You see psycho lunatics over here. They're everywhere. But at the same time, the presence and the people that protect this country, we're like the protectors of the universe. We're the guardians of the galaxy. Mr. Conservative, me, and all you guys out there. You guys are an incredible audience, and I appreciate you guys' support. But they refuse to see the truth. And this proves that they're all on the thing. So, but the Sky News, they're going and they're talking about Trump. And my question is, why are they all trying to suppress the truth? If you're over there and those affairs don't affect you, what happens here? Oh, wait a minute. It does. Donald Trump is the most powerful man in the world. Our foreign policy shapes the world. Ladies and gentlemen, America's in a great spot. So, but let's move. Video bite A, we're going to look at these guys go back and forth, and you're going to see the parallels from there to here. Let's go.
In terms of what's emerged today, though, this former business partner of Hunter Biden, Toby Bobulinski, and what he claims was Joe Biden being involved, that he was the big guy, is what he was referred to in these emails. I mean, did you expect, Bruce, this to be probed a bit more? Perhaps some of the specific wording in that email, was that you? What were you being referred to? I know you had this sort of blanket, I didn't take a single cent from anywhere, but it seems some of those specific allegations maybe were not fleshed out.
Yeah, they weren't. I mean, anybody who is not aware of these allegations, and I think that would probably be most Americans, because it's really been a story that's been confined to Fox and to the New York.
I'm ceding all my time to Miranda on this. She's at the joint that's breaking the story, and tonight the business associate came out with not one, not two, but 3 phones. 3 phones. But because of the tech censorship, the big media censorship, they're trying to pretend nothing to see here. Biden repeated this rubbish that it's Russian misinformation. Miranda, the bloke who stood up today and blew the ultimate whistle is a former member of the US Navy. Last time I checked, not accountable to Russia.
That heavyset guy is nailing it, ain't he? It's true. We always come with the facts. Conservatism. Just a normal, everyday thinking American that has a thinking brain. They come with facts. We have cell phones. And so this should be discussed in the country. We have big tech, like you said, attempting to shut the message down. They're attempting to muzzle the messenger. These are things that socialist countries are made of. These are things that you find in communist China. Don't ever think that this country can be a socialist nation. Donald Trump said, in my watch, under my watch, it'll never, ever happen. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it. And so, it should be discussed. It should be discussed, I believe, because the other shoe, if it was on the other foot, if it was Donald Trump, if it was Don Jr. or Eric or Ivanka, they would be crucified. It would be 24-hour news. You guys know I'm telling the truth. And Tony, when they parade out their Vindman. Oh, Vindman, he's such a man of honor, trying to impeach the president. On a bunk phone call that was completely legit. They're trying to impeach the president, so they parade him out there, and he's applauded, okay, while they're trying to impeach him. Should Tony not? He served in the military. Bobulinski, should he not get that praise as well for coming forward? He gets no praise. He gets no spotlight. He gets no recognition from the media. And now everyone sees it's a double standard. This show today is committed to you guys seeing and understanding and breaking down the media doesn't care about you. They want you to vote one way. They want one party rule. They will stack the courts. They will push through their agenda. And they won't vote for you and they won't ask for your input on the agenda. Let's move on. Video bite B. Check this out.
For the big guy, Tony Bobulinski told us that was Joe Biden. We have, so much evidence, emails, WhatsApp messages.
On that, they're lacking
we
credibility
have
otherwise,
much
but
more
that's...
than that. No, we have meetings. We have emails showing meetings being organised with Joe Biden and his brother. This is new today. His brother James Biden with Chinese partners in making Chinese deals. You know, it was a family business.
Was that during his VP
peddling
time or
family
afterwards?
Business.
2015 is when it started.
That was after he was vice president.
Well, why wasn't Trump running this tonight if this is also credible? Really? I mean, why wasn't Trump running all this?
He did. Sorry, I'll just say that I think that Trump did a good job of introducing to the American people, those millions of people who haven't been able to hear our story or listen to Tony Bobulinski because they've been censored. The rest of the media has decided to hide on behalf, run cover for the Bidens. And then you've had Facebook and Twitter that have censored the New York Post stories and have locked our New York Post Twitter account down. I mean, that's reprehensible and quite scary. But what he did, Donald Trump, today was introduce Americans to the fact that there is millions of dollars, there's a laptop from hell, and that it is a joke that Joe Biden's trying to call this a Russia story again. Anybody interested will go and find the information they can.
So we have a Russia scandal, $48 million to investigate the most powerful man in the world. Hear me out here. We use $48 million of taxpayer money that could have been used on senior citizens, programs, effective programs, not these Democrat tropes that we entangle America in these in our communities, in our cities and communities. But real, true teeth. So Russia had no facts. It was all hearsay. And as we know now, was a Hillary Clinton setup. Here, we have solid facts, information. We have the phones that aren't smashed or emails that aren't deleted. And there's nothing to see here. So we're living in reverse world. We're living in a bizarre world. And it's up to us to vote 9 days from now and to change this crap and finish the job. And so they went on about the Trump Tower meeting. Nothing happened there. Nothing happened with the Trump Tower meeting. But they made this, he got called in, was grilled for 16 or 17 hours over a meeting where someone was trying to infiltrate the Trump campaign. So that's a mess. But that's your media, ladies and gentlemen. Completely dishonest. Want us to stay asleep. Kind of like that movie They Live. It's a joke. But I had some things I was thinking about too. California. There's been a strange phenomenon going on in California. And my thoughts are, could California go red? You know, I say that, back in the 80s when Ronald Reagan, or 70s when Ronald Reagan had a chance to govern California. I remember California back in the 80s was a beautiful state. Going to the beach was the best thing to do. Enjoying yourself, enjoying time. But with all that being said, things are coming back. Kind of like when Obama, clowned Mitt Romney. The 80s want their foreign policy back. You guys remember that? And then he got creamed and lost the presidency. Things are kind of coming back. People are saying Merry Christmas again. People are being more, and Trump talks about that in that clip. He was talking about everyone was starting to come together. We sit and we say, I need a president that's going to bring everyone together. Trump, as we were building success breeds more success. And that success makes people happy. You have money in your pocket for some reason, it seems to make things better and better. So I want to close out in 2 clips. I want to use video bite number 7 because look at these people in support for Trump. And I'm going to also show you the outro of that too as well. Video bite number 7. Let's go.
Bye.